just give it a second. There we go. You are live.
Okay.
You got any more burps, JD? They need to get out.
I think I did them all.
Okay.
I know.
There was a couple.
This
There
is
was
a
a couple.
first.
There's a couple that snuck out, but I think I got them all.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
Lynn, you're actually kicking us off. So just give us a quiet moment and then start us off.
Hey, did you guys celebrate today?
Celebrate what? You know, Christmas is in like 4 days.
What? Pfft, no, it's the winter solstice. It's Yule today.
Oh, isn't that like a witch holiday or something?
No, it's the longest night of the year.
No. It's the shortest day of the year.
That's what I said. The longest night of the year.
Is this like a glass half full type of thing? Like long night or short day?
Yeah, but in this case, they're both super negative.
That's fitting.
Fucking winter solstice!
You just locked into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
This is Lynn.
And dude, I'm ready. I'm ready for those long, illustrious days. December 22nd, the day is what, like 10 hours long? I can't wait.
It's always darkest right before the dawn.
Yeah,
It's only gonna get brighter from here, folks.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah,
but there hasn't been any snow yet, so like,
oh my god,
we're getting like the worst parts of winter without any of the benefits.
Like just the
fog.
And
we've been getting
smog.
the inversion. Yeah, the fog, the air I can fucking chew.
I don't like this hot box. Whatever Utah has been
in the hot box
no
by
good.
US
I don't
Magnesium.
Like
Dude, the other day I went out and I was out for a while and I had a light windbreaker on. Totally fine.
Yep.
This is end of December, you guys. Like this is
I went out Christmas shopping in shorts and short sleeves.
Dude, the other day we went out to get some lunch and like the air smelled really bad and I was like, cool, it's the inversion, whatever. Turns out there was a fire. Like in South Salt Lake. And
Dude,
all of that was just
good time to burn your junk right now.
Mix.
The air's already shit.
Yeah.
No,
it'll start a tire fire.
Add that incense into just some really take it in. I'm getting notes of asbestos, burning plastic wire.
Is that rubber? It's been a while.
Nice.
Wait, is that copper? Please don't burn that. I need that, actually. I need to sell that so I can buy Christmas presents.
Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right, our news this week is brought to us by Crave Cookies. I don't know why I did
Crave.
I guess I should do Crave Cookies.
Yeah, I'm like,
ho, 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 ho.
Did you watch The Nightmare Before Christmas recently? It's a common mistake.
Was that?
Oh, yeah. I mix them up all the time now.
Why did you do a spooky one again? You did 2 spooky ones.
Oh,
was that supposed to be Santa? Oh my gosh.
You know what? I don't do Santa for you, Peterson. I do Santa for Abby.
That's true. She does like your
It's the
Santa.
only part of the podcast she likes. And I don't blame her. It's the only good part.
It's the sucky part, JD.
All right. Crave Cookies is this cookie shop. Go to cravecookies.com and check out their menu, their weekly menu. You will see a very Christmassy menu. We've been making it all week, slanging it. Everyone's loving it. But coming up next week, next Friday, the menu will change. And we're going to tell you what it's going to change to. It is the last week of the month to get the red velvet Oreo. That's been our monthly all month long. And so half a cup of red food coloring goes into that batch. So it is red. Salted caramel Reese's. What is that?
Okay.
Oh, so I think there's going to be, salt. Okay. Maple doodle. So that's a snickerdoodle, but we make like a maple frosting we put on top of it. It's pretty fucking dank. The Flintstone. People wig over the Flintstone. This shit is it's like a regular vanilla dough with white chocolate chips in it, and we roll the whole thing. Oh, and it's got Fruity Pebbles in it, and then we roll the whole thing in Fruity Pebbles, and then we cover it with like a cream cheese frosting. Shit. And the last one out there is the raspberry cheesecake.
There you go.
I hope I ordered enough raspberry.
You didn't.
No
Forgot about
description needed for the raspberry cheesecake.
All right, so get on down to Crave Cookies. Go on the app. Use the app. The app's the cheapest way to get them. Go to DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever the hell you want, because you got to get that cookie on. Balatro has been rated Peggy 18, the same rating as GTA 5. Balatro, if you've played it, is a what is it? It's like a roguelike.
It's a roguelike deck
builder that is based on poker gameplay.
Like poker hands, not even gameplay, like poker hands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, great point. That the poker hands provide the scoring for the game.
Like if it wasn't cards, you could be like, it's a Yahtzee like.
Oh, there it is. It's a Yahtzee like.
It's the same thing.
And this is just to rewind, is made by one person. They sold what did we say last week? They sold 3.5 million units already. This game has no multiplayer components, no way to spend additional money in the game, and yet it is rated Peggy 18. This is Local Thunk on Twitter, the solo dev behind the game.
Okay.
Since Peggy, oh, by the way, Peggy is the European rating system. I think it's the EU. Maybe it's England. I don't know what's included in there. But it's across the pond, so who cares? Just a bunch of foreigners. Anyway, but this is their rating system. Yeah. Use
European game information.
We use things like R. No, Peggy, so this is from Local Thunk on Twitter. Since Peggy gave us an 18+ rating for having evil playing cards, maybe I should add microtransactions, loot boxes, and real gaming to lower that rating to 3+, like EA Sports FC. Oh, shit.
Dude.
Coming at FIFA. That is so funny. I didn't realize that FIFA had all that and they're rated 3+. Dude, such bullshit. And I went and checked on the Peggy website. This is the quote that explains behind their rating. As the game goes on, the player becomes increasingly familiar with which hands would earn more points. Because these hands that exist in the real world, this knowledge and skill could be transferred to a real-life game of poker.
Or Yahtzee.
Dude, what?
That is bananas. You can kill prostitutes in GTA.
Yeah. Doesn't this seem like a joke?
It seems like
it almost reads like a joke. Like this would be like a parody or like a satire of like a ratings board making a ridiculous decision. Yeah, and they're like, well, what if you used your knowledge to play poker later?
Yeah, this seems like something that should be in like a Simpsons episode
or
like an Onion article or something.
Yeah. It's like outlandish.
Very outlandish. But then like I remember the timeline we're in now, and I'm like, oh, okay, that would make sense. It would make
outlandish
sense that,
is just like the new
gambling
norm.
Imagery is far, 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 far more offensive than actual gambling in games.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's a great point.
We don't mind the actual thing, but if it looks like it could be like a nasty thing.
Yeah. This feels like some judgy Karen who's trying to cover her ass because she saw it was poker and she's like, oh, that's instantly Peg 18. And then they're like, wait a second, this had this backlash. And she's like, oh shit. Well, I'm not going to change the rating.
Kind of puritanical behavior here in America. I was like shocked that this wasn't like a Moms for Liberty thing.
Well, apparently in America, gambling is just like online gambling's the thing, and the industry just went out and bought all of Congress. So it's like, no, actually, we just are like the whole country is just Vegas now.
Yeah, we're really leaning into our Wild West stereotypes out here, aren't we?
Like the collapse of the Roman Republic. I fucking love this shit. Can't wait to watch cities burn down.
Because of Balatro.
Because of Balatro. Really, this is how it started, actually.
This is what Revelations was talking about, you guys.
It's in Revelations, people.
It's in the Bible. Read it. Seriously, it's in there. Read it.
Read it! Borderland 4's narrative director says, no poop, farty, skibbity toilet.
What?
I understand individually the words that you have said. Yet somehow, when strung together, the sentence becomes somehow incomprehensible.
When I wrote that headline. I seriously sat here in my office and laughed until I had tears rolling down my face. Poop, poop, farty, skibbity toilet is really, really part of this story. It's not something I just threw in there. This is coming from Sam Winkler, the Borderlands narrative director. He was talking on Twitter, and he said, I'm not at liberty. Now, you guys, Borderlands is kind of a silly, goofy bullshit thing, and they make a lot of like jokes, bad jokes that don't land, poop farty jokes. And I think this topic kind of comes up on Twitter now and again. And Sam Winkler, who's taking over, I don't think he's the narrative director before, but he's taken over for Borderlands 4. He says, I'm not at liberty to talk much about the content of BL4, but I remain firm in my criticism in BL3's overabundance of toilet humor.
Oh, that was the main criticism.
Yeah, that's why we hated it. Well, this is the funniest fucking... Here's the reply. This is what killed me. This is the funniest fucking tweet I've ever read. He says, so are you saying I won't be able to use the poop poop farty 4000 while doing a mission to clean up porta potties with my companion Skibbity Toilet? Dude, I have no idea what Skibbity Toilet is, but whenever I see that word or hear someone say it, it just tickles me. I just think that's...
me.
You
probably hear
children,
it too
Peterson.
much.
You know this.
I've
You
heard
might
it for
live
real.
intimately, actually.
What do they just say it like a tick? They just walk around saying Skibbity Toilet all the time?
Skibbity, skibbity, skibbity.
Yeah, this is bringing me joy. This brings joy into my life.
Not me. I hate it.
Wait,
So
who's
Winkler...
this guy, Sam Winkler? Is that his name?
Yeah.
He knows specifically that Peterson is living in a special kind of hell and is like, no, I got to give this guy a break.
I got to fix it.
Thank you, Sam. Seriously, Sam is one of my heroes at this point.
This is how he responded to the poop poop farty 4000 tweet. He said, I'm not going to say there's no toilets, but if the word skibbity ships in the game under my watch, I'm going to cry real tears. Paul Tassi joked that we were going to have a gun called the Hawk 2A, the Hawk 2A, and a fellow dev asked me if it was real, and I wanted to put my hand down the sink grinder.
No.
Skibbity! Will you call this episode Skibbity?
I will not.
Will you call it Poop Poop Party 4000?
Yeah, I
Very
can
skibbity.
call it that, but I'm not calling it
skibbity.
skibbity.
Dude, that's really... You're being really skibbity right now.
You're not using it right.
You're not even using it right.
You know what? I'm gonna mute you. How do I mute JD? Hold on. I'll just keep going from
actually
here.
is an improvement in this podcast. Just mute him.
I literally muted him already.
Yeah.
Try to say something, JD. Try to say something.
Can't do it.
Oh, he unmuted.
I control
himself.
my own mic. I'm back.
Damn it! We gave him too
All
much
right,
power.
I'll kick him from the studio. I can ban you from the studio. There's an option.
Banishment.
Ban from studio.
Don't be skibbity right now.
Dude,
Just leave me in the studio.
You say skibbity too many times. I will
gosh,
straight up ban you and be like, I guess I'm just doing this podcast now. Like,
Skibba-don't.
Skibbity, I'm not going to name the episode that.
You know you want to.
You coward.
Yeah, do it.
You coward. I hate you.
Miyamoto says that Nintendo is battling rising development costs with creativity. Hey, dude, I know it seems like we're glossing Nintendo a lot lately, but here's the thing. There's kind of a running theme on this podcast of game developers and studios that are doing things properly and game studios that are doing things wrong. And we highlight a lot of the guys that are doing things wrong. Almost
it's our favorite
exclusively. But Nintendo is not only doing it, they're not only saying the right things, but they're doing the right things. And we see things out of this. And guess what? They're making fucking money doing it.
Oh.
And so I just wanted to, this was Shigeru Miyamoto, which I tried to look up, because he is Nintendo, right? You hear that name, Miyamoto, he is Nintendo. I looked up his title. It's executive guy, basically. He's just the guy at Nintendo.
Executive Nintendo guy.
If you Google it, Peterson, it's something representative. He's client rep. Okay. Something weird. So I tried to look this up anyway. He's an executive at Nintendo, and he was speaking at an investor Q&A, and he had a lot of choice quotes that I just wanted to read because I thought they were interesting, and I think they kind of give some insight into the Nintendo's thinking over the past couple of years and what they're doing now. Did you find his title?
Yes, you weren't far off. Executive Fellow and Representative Director.
What is a representative director? Exactly.
Know.
He's just like the guy. I'm just the fucking guy at Nintendo.
Yeah, that's just a very fancy title for face of Nintendo.
Yeah, like I don't need to have a fucking title. That's my title.
His job
My
title
title
should
is
just be his
Miyamoto.
name.
Yeah,
Shigeru
I am
Miyamoto,
Nintendo.
comma Shigeru Miyamoto.
Yeah, exactly. So
Just
here are
an
a couple
arrow
of
pointing
quotes.
up. That's me.
Right here. You know, it says, quote, since our scale of development has grown, a corresponding increase in costs is in some respects inevitable. He's saying what every other large game studio is going through is that bigger games you want to make, the more people you need, and it's more expensive. He says it's possible to create appealing products based on intriguing ideas without incurring significant costs. Again, he's like, hey, we can make unique games without it being the most expensive fucking thing in the world. These are very simple, basic things. And the last quote here, he said, even in the case of video games with the current technology, it is possible to create fun games with a small number of developers in a short period of time. We believe it is important not to lose sight of this perspective. Right there. That, I mean, for the three of us, and especially Peterson, that's how we came up with games, is that they would come out like, it takes 6 months to 8 months to make.
Yeah.
And so you got games fast.
Why'd you say especially Peterson?
Well, because you've been playing older games longer.
Yeah.
Oh. Dated age.
Commodore 64 for life.
Oh.
The original Pong. So yeah, I just think that it's interesting that Nintendo is committing, and when this guy's saying this, it kind of tells you like what their plan is, to pump out games faster, to make them unique and cool, and for them not to cost a ton of money, which is, I don't know how that's not the sentiment in every boardroom or every
Why isn't that everybody's
major
model?
studio, because
Right.
it's just like a very simple formula. That's like, I want to open a restaurant. What do? We make good food and it's cheap, and we get
make
it out
good
to you
food
fast.
and it's affordable.
Yeah, you're like, how is that a bad idea? This is a great fucking idea.
sound
People
right.
are gonna love that.
But what are your upcharges?
Yeah, so instead they're like, no, let's make a restaurant that gets your food out super slow and it's kind of shitty, and it on top of all that, it's really expensive, and we'll call it McDonald's.
And also, you're actually not going to get like the food, like the meat patty. It's just going to be 2 buns with lettuce. The meat's coming, we swear.
Oh, that
in
meat
the
is an
future.
upgrade. It's
Yeah.
a DLC. Meat
It'll be
DLC
there
comes
eventually.
later.
I also like how he casually dropped some of the most inspirational creative advice in this investor meeting. The one that got me was, everyone has different interests, so we cannot make sweeping statements about what ideas are worth pursuing. However, one thing we are sure about is that it should be something which has not existed in the past. The more you polish something that has never existed before, the more value it brings. It's like a proverb that would be
I know.
on like a picture frame in a metaphysical store.
Yeah, a bunch of nerdy investor journalists are like scribbling in their book. They're like, what the fuck is he talking about? I don't know. Keep writing.
It's like, I don't know, but I'm gonna put it on a wood plaque and put it above my front door.
Is this gonna
Yeah,
guide
for
life?
real.
You polish something that people haven't had before. I mean, look at fucking Balatro. What a great example we just talked about.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was polished when he released it, and it has nothing to do with anything else. And guess what? Super, super successful. Wow. And everyone loved it. So I love that they're just out there. Nintendo's just like, basically, here's our secret recipe and our secret sauce. Does anyone want it? And like the developers and these heads at these studios like Ubisoft are just like, no, shut up. We know what we're doing.
It's like that. We're giving you that for free.
Yeah. They're just there in their studios, just like cutting their fingers off and stuff. And they're like, we know what we're doing here. They're like, whoa. Okay. Do your thing.
It's like, really? Because from the decisions that they've been making recently, it seems like they're on all fours.
You're
like
bleeding a
scrounging at,
lot,
scraps on the
guys.
ground. Ugh.
Yeah. Ah!
You know what's interesting, because last week we talked about it. Sega said the similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're gonna focus on smaller indie types of games that we can pump out a little bit faster, that are interesting and unique. So it's funny that Sega and Nintendo are
just
on
living
the
back
same
to the
page.
90s.
Yeah, we're going right.
When we could get when a game didn't take 8 years to make, and it would be and it would be shitty and dead within a day. of its release. That's like normal. That is a normal thing in AAA games right now.
Yeah.
You can spend 8 to 10 years making a game, hundreds of millions of dollars developing it, and within 1 week of its release, it is dead.
It's gone.
And it's gone. Like sometimes gone forever because you pulled it off the servers after all that work. That is so crazy to me that we hear that, and that's happened multiple times in the last couple of years, and we're like, yeah, that's just what video game development is now. That's insane. And Nintendo and Sega are just like, wait a sec. Remember in the 90s when like we just forced one guy to make the ET video game and get it out in like 6 months, and if it sucked, we're like, yeah, it's buried in a fucking desert. We got more. We got other ideas.
If it ain't broke,
Take it to the
don't
desert.
fix it.
If it ain't broke, do another Sonic game.
We're still here.
Real quick, just to go back to your very first point on this story, Nintendo, here's how good Nintendo is doing in terms of like public sentiment, because people genuinely like Nintendo and praise them as like a good gaming company.
Right.
We almost never talk about how litigious they are. There have been like a dozen stories this year of them suing, like they were suing a Discord group.
Yeah.
A Reddit page. It was a Reddit subreddit. They were suing they're suing Pal World. Like they're suing everybody. They sue everyone all the time, and we're just like, you know what? We'll just let it slide.
Listen,
because
we don't even report on it.
Listen,
we're not even talking about it because
it's like Nintendo, that's what they do.
They're still a company. Like, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
But they're like extra litigious. They're like, did you say Nintendo almost? Let's get them out of here. We're going to
Like,
sue them for
no,
40
they're still
million.
A company. They're still not great, but they're not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
villain bad, like strapping people to train tracks to get run over, like twirling their mustache. Like,
Like
some of
they're
these other
still
guys
doing
are.
stuff that we want.
But they're still a business.
Yeah, no, it's still a big corporation. But as far as they go, like I can give them a few passes for suing some of the little guys out there.
Sue away, Nintendo, because you make games we like.
But if good games, then you can keep.
But
on
if you start
suing.
making shitty games, we're coming for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
we are going to talk
Guillotines.
about every lawsuit.
Dude, we'll be a mob. Kids have been gambling their Roblox accounts in illegal Roblox casinos.
Nice.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, what's the
Do you
rating on
think
Roblox?
that they learned
by
how
the
to
way?
do that from Balatro?
So these are unlicensed casinos that are run outside of the Roblox economy, but you can just use your Roblox login and your Robux, is that the currency, to gamble on these sites.
Yes.
Uh,
It's so funny to me.
fucking hilarious quote from one of these articles. One respondent told Sky News that he began gambling at the age of 14, and he's gambled away around 15 million Robux, the equivalent of $190,000. Even though his mother, quote, tried to get him to stop, he, quote, just liked the adrenaline of doing bigger and bigger bets.
I understand. Listen,
This is like a Peterson story for
Yeah.
sure.
like I understand, but also like how are these kids are off the chain these days?
dude, that's my mortgage. This motherfucking like kid, 14-year-old kid gambled away my
Gambling?
mortgage.
Robux
In
of all
Roblox.
things.
Not even the real Roblox.
Stupid. I
It's like-
can't.
Fucking
know-
amazing.
I know that one thing that the generations will have in common, like millennials on, was like new technology becoming a little bit of a wild west. Like we had to deal with like chat rooms in the 90s being completely unmonitored and just like full of predators. Like this is also bad. though.
Yeah, this is
Like I was
something.
doing like shady stuff as a kid in like 90s chat rooms because you don't know better, right? But at
Yeah.
least I didn't have like fucking actual receipts.
Yeah, I didn't have
that
access
that
to
would
this
follow
type of
me
money.
around.
I would have been terrified to have access to this type of money. There's
is
one
what-
one of the quotes in here. It said a friend of the child reportedly threatened to take his own life after he lost 20,000 Robux, the equivalent of about $250 on a single roulette spin. Bro,
I don't-
I've
have you-
never even put
Yeah,
a
I was
bet
just gonna
down
say,
that
have
big.
you ever done that? Because I know you play roulette. I think the
No.
most I put down on roulette was like 10, and I was like, ugh, what a waste.
Bro, 250?
You have a 1 in 100 chance. What the
These
fuck?
kids are off the chain, you guys. This
Oh,
is
God.
Dude, this kid that lost $190,000, he said, quote, I just thought it was something you could do to make extra money. I didn't even know what gambling was. Okay, bullshit. You fucking little lying, you little skeeve.
You're on like the dark web over here
Yeah.
with gambling your
You're
Roblox
like, oh, I
account.
don't even know what gambling is. Dude, you're a 14-year-old, and I just know based on like what your behavior, you've watched multiple beheading videos. You do the weirdest, sketchiest shit on the internet. You're like, I didn't even know what gambling is. Bitch, you lost $200,000 of your mom's money on
know
Roblox.
what gambling
You know
is
what
now.
gambling is. How the fuck did you even get that much? Where do you get a line of credit like that? Could I don't think I could get $190K to like throw into a gambling. Like, where do you get that? Fucking crazy. This is a hilarious statement, though. That kind of the period on the end of this sentence is so fucking funny. This is a statement from Roblox. Our efforts have been met with some success, but we would welcome further law enforcement action and vigilance from web hosting providers to shut down sites like this. They say, well, yeah, we haven't done really anything, but the cops got to do it. It's not us. Peace.
Why would
Roblox
this be
Our
out?
jurisdiction.
Fuck you guys. Call the cops. Peace. They don't give a fuck, dude. They just don't. They've like sued a couple people, but anyone that you're suing just like didn't even care.
I think I understand why though, because I got a message today, maybe from Hiram on our Facebook. He messaged me a Roblox story about how the company, the CEO is worth like billions, right? His net worth is in the billions.
Yeah.
And half of the games on there are just made by kids, like just kids programming them. And they even say like, oh yeah, like in the development
Child
tools,
labor
like,
is extraordinarily profitable.
Yeah. They're like, you can make money if your game gets popular enough. No one makes money on this. And this guy's rolling in cash. I think they said the cops have to deal with this gambling problem because I don't know if they actually have any developers on their team. They just have kids doing it.
Yeah. And then
So
like their
they're like,
community
we
moderation
don't
team
know
is
how to
like
do this.
15 people. And they keep cutting it.
And
So it's
12
like-
of them, 12 of them are under the age of 9
I was going to
years
say most of
old.
them are kids anyway.
See,
Like,
we
oh,
said
yeah.
earlier about like cartoon villains. This guy.
Yeah, it's this
is
guy, and
twirling
it's like
his mustache.
he's like a
The
fucking
children
real
in my
life Willy
salt
Wonka.
mine.
But instead of Oompa Loompas, they're just literal children. He's like, look at my Oompa Loompas and my giant Roblox empire. Like, dude, those aren't Oompa Loompas. Those are just kids.
It's just
Those
like
are just
some
skinny
random
kids.
kid in
They're
Ohio.
$200,000 in debt because of you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix this. Did you call the police? And like the police are dumber than you are. I don't know. What do you mean? What are they going to do?
Did you call your web hosting provider? Bitch, what? Yeah, let me call up CenturyLink. Hey, my kid gambled $200,000 away on Roblox. They're like, what did you just fucking say? How is this my responsibility? What can I do for you? I can tell you to turn your router off and back on. I can send a tech out in 2 weeks.
I am making minimum wage and I hate my job and I just have to answer.
Like, no.
phone
Let
calls.
me
I
explain.
don't know
So
what to do.
Roblox is this game, right?
Yeah, I'm playing it right now. I'm actually working on developing a couple games for it.
Such a fucking joke. Ubisoft has finally released another Rayman game, but in the worst way imaginable. I thought this headline was kind of funny, so it's mostly I just left it verbatim from Engadget. But then as I read the story, I was like, no, this is entirely accurate. It is the worst way. I'll just paint the layers of this stinky onion. The first thing is this game is called Captain Laserhawk, the GAME.
Yes.
Which, if this were like a quirky indie, I'd be like, that's a pretty dope name. Knowing that this is an NFT game from Ubisoft, I'm like, oh, so you had AI make this name. You're like, you tell AI ChatGPT to like dummy up a quirky indie sounding game title, and this is what they came up with. Captain Laserhawk, the GAME.
Yeah, the
We're
game.
still doing this, man. We're
Oh,
still doing this?
NFTs are back. When
Ubisoft was really dove into them like in the heyday. The CEO was like, oh, we're gonna get into NFTs, and everyone got out except for him. He's like, I think
he's the only one holding the bag. He's got all the NFTs in his arms, and he's like, guys, we got to sell these. Got to sell these tulip bulbs.
No one's doing this anymore. And he's like, oh, we're doing this.
So
There's-
it's a
I know a couple
super-
14-year-olds who love to gamble. Let's see if we can get them to play
JD,
Captain
sorry.
Laserhawk.
That tulip bulb joke was such a deep cut.
Thanks, Lynn. I'm glad you got that one.
I didn't get it.
Oh my god!
It's like the
tulip,
I don't know,
tulip bite.
14th, 15th century Dutch trade in tulip bulbs just went
Whoa.
absolutely like outrageous and like
Oh, I
remember that
vaguely-
shit.
Yeah.
So this game is a super basic top-down shooter, just like it's just like a shitty game. And you need a Ninja Warrior, N-I-J-I, a Ninja Warrior NFT in order to play the game. I don't know what that fucking is. I don't know what that
You're a great
means.
start.
Can't wrap my head around what that means, but it does mean that you have to pay a minimum of $14.38 to get into Ninja Warrior NFT in the first place. So essentially, this is a pyramid scheme, just
Yeah,
like
like
all
that-
the NFTs.
We're from Utah. We know what MLMs are. This sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
Like, yeah, I know what this is. Do you get any Tupperware from it or any oils or anything? Or is it just
You
no,
get
you have
this,
to
like-
pay
You get tubing mascara.
yeah. You have to pay $14 just to play. Just to play the game. And we're not saying like to play like the game doesn't cost $14.32 to buy. This is to get in a game of what's it called?
This it's like a crappy game too. It's not like that's the thing is none of these NFT games have been like we've gated a really good game behind the
No.
NFT experience. And people really want to play the game, so they'll suck it up to play this. Every single time it's just like a shit bag of a game, and no one wants to play it in the first place. And on top of all of this, it's a Rayman. People are always asking for more Rayman games because they're usually pretty fun. And Rayman's in this, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's a Rayman NFT." No,
Rayman game?
Rayman is the announcer. He's the announcer, and you never get to play as Rayman. It's like the headline said. It's just the worst way possible. Just the absolute it's like a fucking literal nightmare scenario for how. If you're like, this is a monkey paw thing. Like, I want a new Rayman game, and the monkey paw is like, okay, here's your Rayman game.
Oh, you
it's
want a
NFTs, and you
Rayman
don't
game?
play as Rayman,
No, it's
but
like
you hear his voice.
insulting.
Yeah, it's like a slap in the face for sure.
Just like at that point, just take me out into the back and put me out of my misery.
Dude. I
So,
I love this line in the story says this isn't the first time that Ubisoft has quietly pushed out a Web3 based game to cash in on the NFT craze that petered out of popularity years ago. Like, what are we doing at Ubisoft? Honestly, we talked about this earlier this year. They need to go out of business. Like,
Ubisoft's kind of in the same boat without the meme stocking as GameStop. Just kind of like this old school, like early 2000s or like early 2010s, late 2000s game studio that's like really stuck in their fucking ways. And it's just trend chasing after trend chasing after, and they don't even know why they're trend chasing. And they're like, we're doing NFTs still. Because that's the trend. It's like, dude, that hasn't been the trend in a year. Everyone's like sniffed that out as a scam.
It's like, how like technically there's been cases where like, oh, we cut the head off the chicken, but it can still live as long as we like pour feed down like the tube.
It's head
That's
hole.
kind of what Ubisoft is like to me now. It's just it's moving.
Yeah.
And the problem is they
That's
have
about it.
all of the I'd say they have all the ability to make good games. And JD and I were talking about this, I think last night. Just like if they would have just, and I've said it 3 or 4 times, they would have just
Every
made
time you
Star
say it, it makes me
Wars
sad.
Outlaws,
Ah,
just Far Cry in Star Wars. It would have been amazing. But instead, I don't know, they make the wrong decision at every turn, and this Rayman game is just that again. Like they're just like, I don't know, let's try something that has never made us successful. Let's try that. And the company is really struggling. So
It's
I don't know.
the opposite of the Nintendo approach.
Yeah, exactly.
just one riblet. The most disappointing kind. Just a single riblet that when you order like They're like, they
Again,
bring it. The waiter
insulting.
brings it out. You're like, why did you bring this out? You're like,
Did
well,
they
we're
bring
out
out
of
a bowl and you're like, oh, sweet, it's just full of barbecue sauce, and you have a spoon? You're like, why are they serving me riblets with a spoon? There's one riblet in there.
There's just one swimming in the barbecue soup. Ugh. Twitch has watched Twitch's
Watch
Peterson?
time.
Twitch's
Twitch-
watch hours
their
remain
watch
stable,
hours.
which is not a good thing.
Which is
Which is not a
Wow.
good thing, question mark? No, so here's really the only reason I put this in there. Twitch has reported their watch hours for the year, and it is pretty much the same as the last 2 years, which they have reported out as a
That's
bad
like a
thing.
loss. Yeah.
And
You're not
like,
going up forever. You're dying.
they were like, next year we really got some plans to like get those numbers up, and you're like, they're not bad. Like, that's the thing. These aren't bad numbers. It was like 18 billion hours or something crazy.
Mhm.
It's not bad numbers, but they're like
Not enough.
giving excuses to why their watch hours aren't going up. And this is the problem with American corporations. They're just like, if you're not going up, you're pretty much out of business. Like,
Mhm.
you can't
Isn't
just
it
have a
gross?
stable, you can't have a stable company. Like, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, maintaining at a good rate is a good thing, but apparently not. So Twitch is on the way out, I guess.
Twitch is dead. Sell your stock.
is-
If you have Amazon stock, sell it now.
So stupid. I hate it.
I want to like tell Twitch that they're good enough. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm just like hold
Progress
the
doesn't look
course.
like this. It looks
Yeah.
like this. You're gonna go
It's a
down and up
progress is a
sometimes.
journey, guys. Kudos, positivity segment, things that we like, things that are making us happy this holiday season, which is like, I don't know, 1, 2 things.
Well,
These
there are
must
things
be
that are making us
friends.
happy, but there's more things that are making me more unhappy.
Yeah. The
And
night
so,
is
like-
a lot longer than the day. Let's
Like,
just
it's
put it that way.
It's like if you got the scales, they are not balanced. The night is longer than the day. Good call.
Put that a tattoo of that on my fucking chest. It's my whole goddamn light, dude.
But as long as you make it a quote and you quote yourself on it. I
Yeah.
want you to tattoo your own quote on there and then
On your
put-
chest.
And someone that doesn't know me sees it, they're like, "Oh, that's a nice quote. Who's Jonathan Deasing?" And I'm like, "That's me. That's me, motherfucker." And they're like, "Wow, well, I know how to avoid you now."
Like, I thought that was cool, but now I think it's
Now I
really
think-
weird.
It's completely like a 180 on how I feel about you right now.
You know what, people always ask if you were gonna get a tattoo, and I never know the answer to it. That's
Now
it.
you
I
do.
would quote myself.
A
on
quote
my
of your
tattoo.
own. Yeah.
Oh my
That's my
gosh.
kudos this week is Peterson's own chest tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just my
Peterson's
own
tattoo idea. Yeah, that's my kudos too.
What are your kudos, JD?
Do you want me to do mine first? Okay,
Yeah.
I have a kudos for. I guess I don't think I've talked about it, but I have. I watched it every year, and I've seen it 100 times. Band of Brothers, the miniseries on HBO. I watch it every year around this time. I rewatch it. I ever since I was a little kid, I always loved World War II history stuff. It's just been my jam. I don't know. I think I'm just like a boomer at heart.
I was gonna say you were born an old man.
Yeah, I was born an old
Yeah.
man, like always flipping on the History Channel. Didn't have cable, so if I'd go to someone's house instead of like Cartoon Network, I'd be like, "Oh, let's watch a Hitler documentary," because that's all History Channel used to be.
And how is
Um,
that undiagnosed autism working for you?
Yeah, it's great. I know all these dates. So I rewatch it all the time, and Jenna
Nice.
out of nowhere this year asked me, she's like, "Can I rewatch Band of Brothers with you?" Because I usually just kind of do it on my own, just like whatever. And I was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." And so now I've been kind of paying a little bit more attention to it because I know Jenna's watching it. I think she's like seen parts of it and pieces, and she's been sitting on the couch when I watch it, but she's never like sat down to watch the whole series. And so I'm kind of watching it through her eyes right now, and this shit is so good. It's so good. I mean, it's Spielberg and Tom Hanks directing, and the actors are great, and the direction of the show. It's kind of, all I'm saying is I'm preaching to the choir if you've seen it, but if you haven't seen Band of Brothers, if you're someone that's like, "Oh yeah, it's just some World War II show that just never got around to watching," yeah, watch it ASAP. It's just fucking good.
That was like a
So
cultural reset when it came out. I remember that
Yeah.
making like shockwaves
Yeah.
because it
I
was so iconic.
I'm the exception to this one. I watched it. I made a mistake. I made a critical error. I'd never seen it before, and I was I was home very sick with COVID, and I was like I couldn't do anything. So guess what I did? I watched Band of Brothers, and now the thought of watching Band of Brothers makes
Mine
I'm
through
like,
COVID.
isn't that show like I remember feeling miserable while I was watching it. So I have a watch aversion to Band of Brothers. Like, I never wanna see it again. I probably
That's
should,
yeah,
but
you did screw yourself up.
I
That's
did.
sad.
Like
I
feel
know.
good either. It's still a movie ultimately or a show, but ultimately about war.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Yeah.
but
watching that while you're
It's
warring with your immune system is also not
oh,
great.
dude, that's dark shit.
like, in a really bad way too, Lynn. Like, that was the time when I got COVID and I was sick for 3 weeks and had to go to the ER.
Oh God, yeah, no.
It was horrible, and that's how I feel about Band of Brothers, and, I have the opposite as of JD and what you had said, Lynn, is like a cultural thing. I was like, I
Was that the
hate this
first time you'd
show.
seen it, or had
Yes,
you had
first I'd never seen it
Oh,
Oh.
before.
shit.
I know. I got you know how taste aversion is like you eat something for the first time
I
and
can't
then you
believe you
get
took
sick
so
from
long
something
to
else and you
watch it. That sucks.
I think mostly because it's on HBO and I just never had HBO.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, so I should watch it again when I'm
Yeah.
feeling good, not when I'm feeling like I'm going to die.
I think that's why it kind of is a good compliment to like the holiday season because everything's so cheery and it's cheery enough to carry you through what is kind of a bummer of a series.
Well, and like I don't mind a bummer series. Like sometimes I want like something just really like that's gonna like you know what I mean? Gotta get your blood pumping a little bit because of the negativity and like sometimes
Yeah.
I want that. Uh that's why people watch like crime documentaries and stuff like that, you know, like sometimes you want a little bit of that in your life, but
Maybe
yeah, I
don't
don't
pair it like when like your body feels like it's in battle. You
you know,
want
I'm
your
about to
psyche
die.
also in battle.
Yeah, when I can't breathe and can't eat food. Yeah, I shouldn't do that. Um Band of Brothers.
Band of
Well done.
Brothers, watch that shit. It's
This is
dope.
still
If you
very
haven't seen it.
bleak kudos so far. We gotta get it up. Get it up.
Yeah. All right, Peterson, talk about your
Okay. Oh wait, real quick,
kudos.
we have a kudos from Patrick. I wanted to make sure we talk about it because it looks dope.
Volmans?
Patrick says, I want to give kudos to a
Peppermint
local milk brand, Volmans, for their peppermint eggnog. So I'm on their website right now. Go to their website.
Shit.
It's volmansdairy.com. They have okay, this looks like an amazing dairy. They've got regular milk, then they've got their regular flavored milk, which is
Whoa.
chocolate, strawberry, cappuccino, and Texas homemade vanilla milk. And then they have seasonal milk, and I kid you not, guys, there are 10 of them in the seasonal milk. There's
This
banana
is a
cream,
Texas thing.
horchata milk, root beer milk, blueberry milk, pina colada
I'm so
milk, pumpkin
sad.
spice milk, butter pecan milk, eggnog, peppermint eggnog, and custard. But Patrick specifically wants to give kudos to the peppermint eggnog, which honestly does sound great. I
that
mean,
would be
obviously I can't
amazing.
taste it.
Cappuccino milk and homemade vanilla milk.
That would be
I'm
so good as coffee creamer. Come on.
That's I was
Horchata,
thinking of
root
like
beer
recipes
milk,
you could make with this, and I'm like,
pina
oh man,
colada
Hot
milk,
chocolate.
butter
yeah.
pecan milk.
Butter pecan milk is a flavor I've never seen before in
I'm
milk.
dying here.
Make
And
hot chocolate with butter pecan milk. Oh my God.
so is this something, Patrick, do they deliver this? Because I have a milk delivery service and this kind of reminds me of that. Because I feel like delivered milk is the only way to get like good, fresh milk. Because anything else you get in the grocery store is just old and shitty. But mine was like in a cow yesterday, and then it comes to me. Oh,
Don't
you can
say
get
it
it in the
like
grocery
that.
store?
Don't say it like that. In a cow yesterday, that's like not a selling point.
Yeah. Mine was
It's still
grass
warm.
in the shit 2 days ago.
Just squeezed it right out of a teat of
Yeah.
a cow. Like
Yeah.
probably that morning, I don't know, but straight into my mouth,
Mhm.
down my
That's how I
throat,
like it.
into my
So
cereal
Patrick gets this
bowl.
in the stores. That's so spoiled. That's so crazy. This is like good ass milk.
Yeah, it looks like good milk. That's what I was gonna say. And it looks like it's like a family farm, so even better. Like that's kind of the better options for milk. I don't know. I'm a little jealous right now, if I'm being honest. A little jealous. So that is a good kudos, Patrick, because we're always giving kudos to local stuff that Patrick's never going to get, and then so he gives us one right
Man, this
back.
one kills me. Sad. Damn.
That kudos
Insulting.
made us feel bad again.
It turned on me, guys. It's turning on me.
We do have a few Texas listeners though, so I want to hear
Yeah,
them
we
kick in
do.
and see what they think.
I'd say that's our second most popular state behind Utah is Texas.
Yeah, I don't know why, but and then I have a kudos. So today I spent my whole day baking. I got like a family Christmas party tomorrow. I was in charge of dessert. And then I always make dessert for the kids in my church class all the time. Just that's how I get them to like me. And all the kids who've been in my class, even the kids who used to be in my class, they're like, "Oh, you're the best teacher we've ever had." So I really take pride in that. So I always making treats, and so I made them some treats. But what I made today, which I haven't made in a while, was homemade Oreos. And I don't know if you guys have ever had those. They are incredible.
No.
It's
So
a cookie that's like it's like a brookie almost. It's like a brownie cookie. It's more cakey and soft. It's very soft. And then it's usually like it's a really gross cream cheese, like a cream cheese and butter. It's just butter, shortening, and powdered sugar. It's like real gross. But it tastes a lot like Oreo filling. But it's like whipped, so it's real good.
Butter and shortening are real gross.
Yeah, I mean shortening is not great.
It's
Dude,
The
you gotta stop
amount-
eating it, Crave.
JD, the amounts are jarring when you
Yeah. Oh,
but
dude, you're talking to a
you
guy that makes cookies all
quadruple the
day. I
recipe.
don't know
I
if you
know,
know who you're talking to. I had 41.1 ounces of shortening in my hand earlier this morning.
oh my gosh.
And I
Can
just
you say that
yeeted it, the whole fucking thing. I yeeted it into the
Wait.
mixing bowl.
You need to say that in American terms. I don't know what 41.1 ounces. Give me cups or like pounds or something.
I don't know. Are ounces not part of pounds?
Dude,
Pounds are American, but they're smaller unit. Ounces are metric.
you can't say like an ounce. I don't know what that
Like
is.
2.5 pounds. 2.5
pounds.
pounds of shortening.
Okay.
That's how much I used.
I'm
Okay,
going
okay.
to.
And I just yeeted it like a softball.
I'm going to submit a request that the next outro that you guys have is just the two of you arguing over the metric and imperial system.
Dude,
Back and
it's a pick and choose thing for Peterson.
Well,
Some things are
ounces-
metric or imperial. The things he doesn't know are metric.
The problem with ounces is they go for both fluids and non-fluids, and so I get very confused by ounces. Don't
I
give me
also
ounces.
get confused by ounces. You're not alone in this.
This is why I was a horrible bartender, by the way, because I would just free pour everything, and I wouldn't even be done
Or-
putting the liquor
Some
in
people
the
did not
drink.
think you were horrible. The drunks liked you.
They loved me because
Argue.
I would sit there and free pour, and I'd be like, I'd be like doing a Long Island iced tea, which has like 5 or 6 liquors in it, and I'd be to the top of the glass before I put anything else in. It was just liquor in there, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't free pour this, but who knows I don't know what an ounce is. I'm not gonna measure it like an idiot. Anyway, what were we talking about? Homemade Oreos. Yes. Okay. So I made 50 homemade Oreos today. They're decadent and extremely sweet, like aggressively sweet. But here's what I did. I was like, you know what? I'm going to fancy up the frosting a little bit. The frosting in the middle. I made a peppermint one, which is pretty basic. But I also made a raspberry frosting. So Oreo with these chewy chocolate cookies with a raspberry frosting. Patrick says the jig measures for you. I don't use a jig, Pat. That's what I'm trying to say. Free pour, baby. Free pour.
This is the Olive Garden, bro. You think we have jigs?
At the OG Lounge, you think we actually, it's Utah. We are definitely supposed to measure, but guess who didn't care at the OG Lounge? Me.
Mormon bartenders are the best.
I don't know. I don't care.
I don't know anything about
I
this.
have no
Here, have
context for
some.
how bad this is.
It's like pouring stuff in there. Hey, you're right. The alcoholics that I worked with would genuinely get off work and order drinks from me because they're like, they knew it was gonna be like 3 Utah drinks. Anyways, the raspberry one though, here's what I did that was interesting. I couldn't find raspberry extract, and so I was like, crap, and I really wanted to do raspberry, so I used raspberry jello. It worked great. Genuinely worked so well. These Oreos turned out fantastic. Like I said, so sweet though. I ate half of one and thought I was gonna die. But so good. I made 50 of them which is 100 cookies, because so 50 cookies, and gave them out to friends and stuff like that in the neighborhood for Christmas presents. So anyways, homemade Oreos, if you haven't had them, they're actually pretty easy to make, not super labor intensive, and absolutely worth it. They are so good.
Homemade
So
Oreos. Eating half of one will make you feel like you're going to die.
yeah, yeah.
Kudos.
Just like any good cookie.
Just like any good cookie.
Any cookie
You
I
eat
make,
half of it and you
I
wanna
would
die.
describe it the exact same way.
Patrick, I shot him down with the jig and he said, fine, I'll just get some peppermint eggnog. Again, rubbing it in our face. Patrick, I love you genuinely, but
if you
this
say
hurts.
peppermint eggnog one more time,
I swear to you, say it. Say peppermint eggnog. Say peppermint eggnog.
say it one more time.
I'm gonna come to Texas. We're gonna fight. You'll probably win. I'm not much of a fighter, but that's actually not much of a threat. If you saw me in person, I am pretty short. So
Why do you think I'm so mean to him?
like, Jada, I'm gonna beat you up, and then Jenna just steps in between us, and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean it.
Genuinely, Jenna could beat me up. She is
I'd say she could beat up the majority of people.
Yeah.
Because the majority of people don't have like combat training.
You know what, Patrick, you're
consider it
absolutely
an
right.
honor.
I'm gonna come to Texas. We're gonna fight. You're gonna win, and then we're gonna drink peppermint eggnog together. Sounds like a
This is a
great
great
weekend.
New Year's.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm in.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
I don't remember making that, but
When did
I
you
did.
make that?
I don't
Where did
remember.
that come from?
JD, your reaction right now was my same exact reaction when I tested it early when I was putting the episode together.
What?
I
It's
don't
just like a
know.
little tweak. It's not like you put that much time into it.
No, it
It's
just
great.
sounds a little bit better.
A little
and,
better.
like, I don't know. Genuinely don't know.
What the fuck?
I
Dude,
don't
that's
know.
how long it's been since we did this. You made a new bumper and we just forgot about it.
Fully forgot.
Very cool.
I was like, I do remember finding that gunshot sound, and that was it. I don't remember actually doing anything with it. So there we
wow.
go.
This is what happens when you've done what? 300 fucking episodes?
4?
400 episodes?
Yeah, I was like, you are a little bit off, JD.
What? I don't remember shit about Dick. So, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is this segment.
I
we
remember
do.
some things about Dick.
Where we've got a specific aspect of video games we want to talk about. We want to talk about the good aspects, the bad aspects, and the in between, the ugly parts of that specific thing. This week, Lynn said she's been playing some couch co-op games. Yeah. With her husband, and they have been. What were you guys playing?
Well, so it was funny after I texted you and was like, we've been playing some couch co-op, and I was like looking through. I was like, oh, you know what? Actually, most of these are just multiplayer games that we just play on the couch next to each other.
Count
So
it.
I was like,
Count
cool,
Down it. Yeah. Couch co-op.
whatever.
Are you playing against each other?
No, usually
Sounds
we want
co-op
to,
to me.
There you go.
Together. Yeah. So yeah, you're
Sounds
right.
cooperative.
Okay,
So
fine. It
the good and the
works.
bad and the ugly couch co-op, which I went back through all of our episodes, maybe not all 400, but a lot of them, and we have never talked this before, which is kind of interesting. So I was actually pretty stoked to do this. I have a bunch. Peterson, do you have a bunch? Do you have a bunch?
No, I only have a couple for each, but that's because I knew Lynn would be here. So like, I didn't need to have 9, and you didn't need to have 9.
And if I'm seeing this right, Lynn, you chose games for this, like couch co-op games that in Good, Bad, and the
Yeah,
Ugly. I love that.
I did.
Yeah, so that gives us a different like angle on this one. Because I chose kind of just like little things. So I'm really excited for this. Why don't you start out with one of the whatever, good, bad, or ugly, whatever you're most excited, whatever you think is the best example.
So I think I'm gonna start with good, just because like we'll go good, bad, ugly, which is like don't mess with a classic. With a
Yeah,
really
it's
good
good.
couch
Yeah,
co-op.
there you
So
go.
I was trying to think like, okay, despite like specifically couch co-op, not just multiplayer, like couch co-op, what are some games that I've really enjoyed? And the first one that comes to mind because it is still just so fucking memorable and good after all these years is Castle Crashers.
Say it.
Castle
Yes.
Crashers
Oh,
is
It's
like
so good.
to me one of the most perfect couch co-op games because
Love it.
I don't want to have to think too hard when I'm doing a co-op game. Like I want to like think a little bit, but I just love button mashing.
mhm.
And one of my favorite memories of like, playing games as a kid with your friends like next to you on the couch like with the wired controllers and stuff is that sense of just like chaos, like go 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 go. And Castle Crashers I think has that element of just it's just so satisfying. It's fast paced. Like it's cute and designed well. You can kind of button mash and just like have room to make mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, the skill level gap that can play this game together is
Exactly. Yes.
fantastic. Because someone that's never played a game, you can just hand a controller to your mom and play two other people that know what they're doing, and you can just carry her through, and your mom will still have a good time. Everyone will have a good
Exactly.
time with it.
Why do you have to keep bringing up my mom, JD? Thanks
Just
a
on my
lot. It's
mind.
Christmas time.
Yeah, Christmas time, mom's on my mind a lot.
Mom passed away 3 years ago, so feels good. Feels good. Thanks.
Feels
a
really
lot.
good. Yeah, let's talk about that more. Thanks a lot, Lynn.
Tis
Thanks
the
for bringing up
season
our
to be
moms.
Jolly. Talk about my mom. This is fine.
I have a good.
Oh, God.
Wait, hold on, real quick. That's
Uh-huh.
on Lynn's Castle Crashers. I will have to say because that's made by the Behemoth, the company.
Mhm.
They have my number one favorite couch co-op game. It's a different one. I love Castle Crashers, but they also have Pit People, which is the co-op game that I've played the most with my kids.
Pit People?
Fun.
I
Did you
even
never
know
play
what that
Pit People,
is?
JD?
No.
No,
Guys,
I'm
it's so
watching a
great.
gameplay right now.
It
It
is
looks exactly
genuinely
the same kind
so
of
good.
style.
Oh, same exact style.
right.
Even some of the characters are the same. But honestly, I
I've
love it
seen
so much. The
this.
Behemoth has captured my heart with those two games. So I just had to give that a quick honorable mention.
Okay, so I've got a good for couch co-op. I like when it remembers. So when you're playing with two people and the player two hasn't like signed in or anything, they're just kind of playing off your account, and you stop the game, you close it out, and then you come back, and maybe you play a little bit by yourself, and then your player two jumps in with you later, and it saves all their shit, their inventory,
Mhm.
their items or whatever. Their characters still remembered right when they just like turn the controller on and they're ready to go. That for me is so clutch. Yeah, because I think there was this awkward period in couch co-op where they would try to make this player two sign in so that their progress would be tied to like their Xbox account or their Steam account or whatever. But now they just like most of them that I've run into, they will save like this two players. Like it's the best when it's inventory, especially on a game that like you play by yourself and then you get that person to come back and they still have all their old inventory. I think like Borderlands did that, for example.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is just so clutch for me. And it feels like mandatory now because everyone's been doing it, that if it doesn't happen, you're like, that's fucking weird. Why did I log in and I don't have any of my stuff? You just don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah. You have to have more of like the crossing your eyes or crossing your T's and dotting your I's, like the functionality really has to be dialed in with couch
Yeah.
because by yourself you could maybe be a little bit more forgiving and patient, but add two people in and any sort of like bug or problem with the menu instantly becomes way more annoying.
Yeah, it's got to work. Yeah, exactly. Peterson, what about you? Any? You don't have to do a good.
I have a
You can do
good.
whatever
Yeah,
you
no,
want.
I'm good. I'm good on the list too. Good. I'll
Okay,
do it
go on
good.
the list. All right.
This is gonna sound weird, but the fights. Okay, so when you're playing couch co-op, sometimes, especially if you're playing a game like what's the cooking one?
Overcooked.
Overcooked. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
playing
I've got
like,
that
it's
on my
very
list too.
frustrating. The fights, but here's why it's a good. This is the way dudes bond. We bond through fighting. Like, yeah, sometimes you'll get mad at each other, but then you like laugh about it later. Like
Just like in Fight Club. Little tickles, little
Right.
fights, and then you're giggling, making soap later with your
Like,
buds.
one of our favorite league night when we were playing League of Legends memories was when I got so pissed at you guys and I was like, just said should have gone to bed and logged off and quit mid game.
That was one
I
of the
was
that was one of your
genuinely
best, your
mad.
finest hours.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I was genuinely mad,
Yeah.
and then it was just so funny. This is how dudes bond, through the fights.
Yeah.
So
It
that's
is.
good
I
for
like
me.
that. A fight. Oh my gosh.
Through
Okay, Lynn, how about a
conflict, do we not
bad
become closer?
That's see, yep,
a bond
Are
through
these
blood?
bonds
Yeah.
forged in fire?
Yes.
Band
you
of
get it.
brothers.
Band of brothers. Full circle. Lynn, what about a bad game? What about a bad couch co-op game for you?
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and preface this by saying I know I'm wrong. I know
Oh.
I'm wrong. I
No.
know I am wrong.
You may not be.
JD,
No,
what is it?
I know I'm wrong. Couch co-op game that I lasted 15 minutes into, and then we just turned it off. It Takes Two.
Yeah. That
JD
is
hated it.
that is the accepted position on this podcast. It Takes Two is the most overrated piece of shit video game in the last 10 years. Fuck that stupid game. It's a shit story. It's crappy gameplay. And like Lynn said, it's boring as ass.
Yeah,
I thought you liked that,
no,
Me?
but
I'd
like-
rather watch Two
Impressive.
Girls, One Cup than fucking play It Takes Two.
okay, yeah, no, that's pretty
No.
good.
That game
God
fucking
damn.
sucked.
I
Hot
didn't make it
takes?
30 seconds into that video.
No. No, it was like, okay, so I'm just old and jaded and bitter. I know this about myself. And it was just like, I'm not the target audience. I'm too old. It's for kids. Like, this one was very much like juvenile for kids, like written for children. In my mind, it was.
It's like it
And
was
so
written by children.
Yeah, so we just couldn't get into it. Just couldn't get into it, and didn't.
Well,
wasn't
we
able to
played.
finish.
Jenna and I played it for a couple. I think we almost beat it. And
Oh wow, you gave it the good old college try.
They went for it. It was one of your Dice of Destiny games.
yeah, and we almost beat it, and that it broke us because we usually finish games and we didn't. There's this scene.
And it
I don't
was
know
like,
if-
I'm gonna get a divorce if you make me play this again.
which
and
is the whole
she-
game's about divorce. It's very meta. It's so bad it made us almost get a divorce.
You almost get divorced. Oh,
Yeah, there's
God.
this scene because they're like parents of a young daughter,
Yeah.
and they're kind of trying to keep their shit together for their daughter, and then they get transformed into little toys, and they're trying to like get out of the situation and get back into their bodies. And at one point, they decide that they have to make their daughter cry. It's a very thin premise of why they've decided this is the solution to the magic. And so what they do is they take one of their daughter's beloved toys, like an elephant
Or
toy,
elephant stuff.
and they drag it off of a table and chuck it off the table to kill it, so their daughter cries. At one point, the elephant, who's screaming through this whole thing because he knows they're going to kill it, he grabs onto like a nail in the table, and they just keep pulling until his arm rips off, and then they throw him off the table to make their daughter cry. And it's played as a very like funny ha-ha moment. And that's where we were like, what fucking game are we playing here?
Yeah, I feel like
And
they
that
just-
never comes up. People never bring that up when they gush about how this game is so great and so awesome. I don't understand. I'll send you the scene, Lynn. It's
No,
I
I
pretty,
think I
watched
saw
it.
this in
pretty
like one of the Saw
haunting.
movies. So
Yeah.
no, we good. Dude, yeah, no.
It's like
it's-
borderline
didn't like
child
that.
abuse, and you're like this is a pretty fun moment of this game.
yeah,
doesn't sound
no,
fun.
it wasn't
No,
for me.
it wasn't a good game.
And
So
after
yeah,
hearing
no,
that, definitely not for me.
yeah. So that's a pretty good one for bad. I would say I'll follow Lynn's example because I do actually have like a bad couch co-op game. And it's kind of an aspect, it shares an aspect with like one of the worst couch co-op games I ever played, and way worse than It Takes Two. Which is crazy to say after what I just said about It Takes Two. But the cave that came from, it's like a Ron Gilbert game, and it was like, he's kind of a beloved developer, and it is this co-op game where you like go down into a cave and whatever. Didn't get that far into it, only played it for about 3 hours. I checked on Steam because this game features maybe one of the worst couch co-op like features I've ever seen, which is the screen follows somebody randomly. it's centered on one person just randomly, and then if the other person's like out of frame, it just follows you, and then that person is still out of frame, like where they are. And if you run all the way back and like you can get them, or if they could, I mean, guess and run to find you and meet you, they would be able to do the same thing. But either way, you lose each other on the screen because it pulls away and just follows somebody randomly. And so as a co-op game, instead of the other aspect, which is where it drags. So like on one of the early Lego games, you know, when you could only run so far in one direction and your co-op partner could only run so far in one direction. It's like that, but if your co-op partner could just run off the map and then the camera's like, well, we'll just follow this guy then. It is so jarring and so terrible. The cave was the worst. We couldn't even get through it because it was like we would be doing our own thing like you do in co-op games, and then all of a sudden I would move slightly to the right and Jenna was on the left side of the screen. Well, now she can't see her character anymore. She falls on spikes and dies. And I was like, why the fuck would they make the game like this? So
That's
when the
just
camera,
so frustrating.
I just
because
want
it's
split screen.
because it's not the gameplay, it's not the plot, it's just something so simple, something so simple
Like a
that
decision
made
they
the game
made.
unplayable. That's so frustrating.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
there's an algorithm to why they are following who, but sounds like you couldn't figure out what that was.
No, and we
And,
couldn't get and the game was, I think, pretty well received. People thought it was like really fun and cool, but no, it sucked.
People are wrong sometimes. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a bad as well.
Yeah.
The fights. Let me tell you why the fights are bad. Because when you're playing couch co-op, especially games like Overcooked, sometimes words can come out that you don't mean to say and things you can't really take back. And sometimes you say stuff that really sticks with them.
Words you cannot unteach your children.
Yeah.
So they know that
and
word and it's used in anger. So I'm gonna hang
Yeah.
on to that one.
Overcooked really, so what the good is the fights, but the bad is also the fights of couch co-op.
The language. Yeah.
And like I have leaned over and turned off my kid's controller before mid-game, giving
It
me
is your right as a parent to do that.
You have to prepare them for the cruelties of the world.
The unfairness of it all.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that through bonding through a video game, but this is where we landed. Sometimes the lessons just present themselves.
You meet them where they are.
You also have to teach them that it's unexpected. Happens when you don't expect it, when you don't want it to happen.
See?
Yeah.
Lynn gets it.
Also,
Abuse
that
your
I'm in
children.
charge.
You heard it
and
here, folks.
I'm in charge,
It's
and I'm
my
gonna
controller.
win.
End of the
And
day.
this is my house. You can go get out of here. Go to bed or something.
That's also my bed, just as a reminder.
I own all your stuff, by the way.
It's my stuff. You just sleep in it.
Whenever one of my sons, Colin, whenever he's bugging me, I'm like, I say, hand me my phone about his phone. And he's
Yeah.
like,
My God.
it's my phone. I'm like,
That's the
is
most
it?
alpha
Is it?
shit I've ever fucking heard in my life. I love that. Hand me my phone. Oh,
He
I
doesn't
love
like
that
that.
My
so
elephant
much.
toy to drag off the table.
Yeah. Did you watch that video, Lynn?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
watched
okay.
it.
You
No,
have to
I saw
watch
your
it
horrified
after
face
this.
earlier. I didn't know if you were watching that video or reacting to what I was saying. It's bad. I'll have to watch it later. What about ugly? What do you have, Lynn? What's an ugly couch co-op game for you?
So for ugly, I chose for that same reason, Peterson, the fighting, like the double-edged sword. It's good and bad. Ugly. Mario Party and or Kart.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
if you watch Band of Brothers as your like winter holiday tradition, my family's is that we'll get together and we'll play either Mario Kart or Mario Party like all together. And I didn't realize that like this is how cacophonous it truly was until like we had like family friends come over and like watch. Like there's 4 kids in my family and then like our two like the 2 people who are like in-laws, like we married or whatever, for my brother, his girlfriend, and then my husband. And then we have like family friends that come in. When they came in and like saw all of us playing together, they were like, oh, I can see how everyone in your family like has ADHD, because all of us at any given time from playing that game is just like us honking the horn over and over and over again, just like or like in the new Mario parties, how like your character can do like little wahoo
Yeah.
or whatever.
The whole thing's a fidget spinner.
yeah, the entire time is just like overstimulating. It's ridiculous. And
That's
then
when I
that's
lean
not
over and
including the
unplug their
yelling at each
controller.
other and the horrible names being called. Like, I don't know what it is. I turn into like a 12-year-old like gamer boy when I play Mario Kart. Like, I am just saying the most like misogynistic, sexist stuff. I don't know why. It just comes out.
Just comes
It's
out.
terrible.
It comes with the
I've
game.
never called
Oh
like
my
my little
gosh.
brother like a slut whore more often than when he's kicking my ass in Mario.
Well, he's acting like a slut whore. He
He's
needs to
being a
know
slut
it.
whore.
Yeah, you got
He
to call it when you
times
see it.
those
Only
red
only a
shells
slut whore.
right.
Yes, exactly.
Right when he knows it's the most infuriating time for me. That is slut whore behavior. Just kidding. It's not. Kids, be nice to women.
Unless they're
You know
beating
what?
you at Mario Kart,
Unless they're beating you at
and
Mario
then give a
Kart.
war.
There are some acceptable times to really get upset at other humans, and that's one of them.
And Mario Kart is that time.
You know
Yeah.
what's funny? You mentioned Mario Kart and Mario Party, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, like we get together, my family, and we play board games and card games all the time, and there's always one winner, right? A bunch of losers, but like we have fun the whole time. That in concept, that is not different from playing Mario Party or Mario Kart, but the execution of it is like, for something about holding that controller and playing a video game, you get so mad.
What is
So
it?
mad. None of us get mad when we play board games.
No,
But when we are playing Mario Party, you're like so mad at each other.
because you
Mhm.
put in the work. You put in the work.
Like I am
Every
working-
fucking day.
Like
I'm
a dog.
over here grinding on Mario Party, practicing, working my dick off,
The stakes are high.
and you come in here with that blue shit
they're-
bullshit.
Listen, okay, board games
This game
fine.
cheats.
Like, it's real. You're face to face, right? Like, it can be intense to like face down grandma over sorry, because I'm not sorry that I'm beating your ass, grandma. But the added music with video games, it's intense. It's high pressure.
some of
You've
the
got
sound effects when you
your
die.
favorite characters, they look so sad when they lose. I don't want to do this to Yoshi. I don't want to make him be a loser. He should be a winner. But no, my skill wasn't enough. Emotions
Yeah.
run high.
Now freaking Bowser's over here gloating.
It's
While
terrible.
Luigi's came in second again.
Terrible.
I've got an
As long as
ugly.
the Luigi I know and the only one I care about stays on top number one. There's a joke there with current times. Hey.
We do. What do you? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we all support Luigi's.
boy.
All Luigi's on this podcast,
Yeah.
and all their fine work.
On December
Uh,
6th at 6 p.m., Luigi was on our podcast with us.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
whole
that's
time.
where
Our
he
buddy
was.
Luigi.
We were talking about video games
The whole time.
the whole time. Here's an ugly for me, and I kind of like this. I kind of like the way that Lynn went, because some of them of mine kind of fit this. Undercooked. Undercooked's a fantastic game. Such a
Overcooked.
blast.
Overcooked.
Overcooked.
You said
Undercooked.
undercooked.
It's overcooked. I think I've said
Is
that
this a
multiple
food
times so
poisoning
far.
version of it?
Overcooked.
It's like undercooked. It's
was
a
like
little
the
raw.
beta version that they were releasing.
Yeah, no, overcooked. Overcooked. I'm glad Lynn's here to correct me.
Undercooked makes it sound so gross.
Yeah, no,
Like
I
Undercooked.
get it now. I get it. Overcooked is a fantastic game. Love that one. Loved the sequel. Have a ton of fun with it. However, for me, it's ugly because it is one of these couch co-op games that absolutely, hands down, requires communication. You cannot play that game just sitting on the couch quietly trying to relax, or just like hanging out with your spouse
Nope.
playing a game. You have to be talking the whole time, or and it's funny because you can try it without talking and you're like, why are we losing? And you can't get past like the second level, and then you're like, oh, we have to have a plan. We have to
Oh,
like
'cause you can't put
discuss
the
what we're
lettuce on
doing.
this burger, you idiot. Yeah.
You can't just like everyone just does their own thing in the kitchen. You have to, in the real world, you have to communicate in the kitchen. That's just how it
requires,
is.
like strategy in real time.
Yep.
Thinking on your feet, real time.
And I'll tell you, when Jenna and I play couch co-op, we are slouched the fuck out. And sometimes like having like this high pressure communication required intense game is not our cup of tea. So that's why I put it on ugly, because it is fun. It can be fun, and that game is way more rewarding because of that. Like yakking off at each other and just yelling at each other. That's fun. but it's definitely just only kind of fits a narrow niche.
It's fun in
sometimes.
like the way that extreme sports are fun.
Yeah. You're like, wee, okay,
there
I'm
is
glad
an
that the
adrenaline
skydive was only
spike.
90 seconds long because my stomach is like sinking now.
'Cause I'm gonna throw up soon.
I'm gonna throw up. So yeah, that was my ugly. All right, what about how many you want to do one
I
more?
got
One
an
more
ugly.
round?
I got an ugly.
Okay. Oh, you got an ugly. Sorry.
You know what it is? The fights. Let me tell you why the fights are
You
ugly.
did the fights for all three?
Yeah.
Okay.
What else is couch co-op? I don't listen.
He's got
To
war
be honest,
on the mind.
I don't play that much couch co-op, and now you
And
know
when
why.
you
There's a lot of
do,
fighting.
it's a nightmare for your partner.
And your
It's
children.
usually a kid.
Yeah,
It's a
and your
child.
kids,
Yeah.
anyone that's nearby.
Here's why the fights are ugly in couch co-op. Because sometimes, I joked like, oh yeah, sometimes this is how dudes bond and stuff. But also sometimes those fights involve nut punches. And when you're playing games with dudes and they're just bugging you, the thing about online
crotch
co-op
is
is
right
you can't
there.
hit them in the nuts.
No.
When you're playing on the couch next to each other and they're messing up, you can just bap real quick.
Hammer pound, which
and
is the
it gets
best, which is
pretty
the best
ugly.
nut punch version. If you
Yeah.
can't do the uppercut, the hammer pound right next, like right there, it's the best
Yeah.
one.
So
I'm learning
that's
so much about the male psyche right now. This is
Yeah.
fascinating.
This is a really good look.
like you don't want to you're not trying to bruise them or hurt them. So the easy way to do it is just a nut. It doesn't even have to be hard. Like just a nut punch is the good way to get it. That's why it's mean, but still in a
You
playful
have this
way.
in bad, but I think you could also put it in good.
No, this is ugly. That's
Oh,
why.
this is an ugly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're right. It is good and bad. This is great for ugly.
Patrick said, "Well, now I know Peterson's move for when he comes and fight me.
When you do
I go to
fight,
Texas.
Just a
straight for the
heads up,
nuts.
just as a general
You better wear your
FYI
cup, Patrick."
for anybody that ever fights Peterson, he's going for your nuts.
He's going for
Like,
the balls.
Some people are like, I watch their I watch their shoulders so I can tell what
Mhm.
they're gonna do. I watch their eyes so I can tell. No, I'm staring directly
Yeah.
at the crotch.
He's coming. Yeah,
Just
it's
trying
like
to
he's
get
a,
it.
yeah, it's like a shiny quarter and a raccoon. He is just geared in on that one fucking spot, and no matter what your move or your game plan is for this fight, Peterson's coming for your nuts.
You're
Oh, I
a
will-
burger and he's coming
will
for the
get your
family
nuts.
jewels.
I will get your nuts. You may kill me. You may beat me in this fight, but your nuts will not emerge unscathed.
Which also is his undercooked strategy.
Yeah.
Those nuts.
We will have sex in your car.
It will
Uh,
happen. Does everyone have enough? Do you want to go one more round?
One more. Let's do a quick round. Let's do a
Quick. Here's the lightning round. Good.
I get the quick,
Uh,
easy, good. Do you want me to just do it real quick?
Yeah.
You know when you're playing games like fighting games like Ninja Turtles and those types of things, Guacamelee,
Mhm.
those sorts of games. They have that arcade feel. When you go play an arcade game and you're like playing, and someone comes in, player two, and sticks a quarter in, but this time it's free, and it feels like I am the arcade generation where that's what we played. It feels like a hack. It feels like a life hack. You just come in. JD can hop in and just hit start, and he's in. No quarters, unlimited lives. It has that arcade feel, but also dude, you're getting away with it. You guys are gonna do this.
Yeah.
And I love it.
That was one of my goods. It's just easy, quick and easy drop in and out for player two. Player one can just be playing along their game. Player two can come in, play for a little bit, leave, come back, play for a little bit, and whatever. Things just keep going. Having that seamlessness is just amazing. And you also touched on another good that I had that's really quick is just unlimited revives. If you can pick up your partner and then you die or they die and you can go pick them up and you can just do that back and forth like Halo, like the original Halo co-op.
Yeah. Yep.
That's clutch. I don't want my experience to be muddled with lives. If I have a co-op partner, we should be able to literally carry each other through the game. That's what I want. Lynn, what's a good you got?
Donkey Kong Country 2.
Ooh.
No further commentary is needed.
That is, dude. I was just gonna say, what more do you need to say?
You don't need to say anything.
No,
I could say one word and I would sell music.
If you know, you know. You like bongos? We got bongos.
Who doesn't like bongos?
We got
You don't like
bongos.
bongos,
We
you
got
just get
barrels.
the
We got
heck
barrel bongos. Bongo bango. You're gonna love it.
Love
Bad lightning round. Peterson, what about you?
Bad. Oh, you can't. The problem is when you're playing couch co-op, you're with the other person. So like if they're pissing you off, you can't like mute yourself and just talk crap about them. You know what I mean? And then just jump back and be like, yeah, no, everything's good. Just had a good. Can't do. You can do that in online co-op. Couch co-op, no. You just have to sit there and bear it. You have to hold it in, unless you let it out, and that's why it becomes a fight. But
More
you gotta
fights.
hold in your anger. Whereas sometimes it's just nice to just let it out, put up yourself on mute, let it out, and then you can come back on like nothing ever happened. But you can't
Yeah.
do that on the couch.
You
Like,
got a
hold on,
pillow. You got to have a pillow for that. You just scream into it like, "What was that about?" You're like, "Oh, I was just thinking about something earlier today that upset me deeply."
why'd you hit that pillow? I'm pretending it's your nuts. That's fine.
It's either the pillow or your nards. You choose.
You
Lynn, what about a bad for you?
Similarly to that, if you're playing with someone, being on different bathroom or break schedules. So I'm geared in. We're ready. We're about to start like the big boss fight. Here we go. Wait a minute. I just need to grab some water and like use the restroom really quick. 20 minutes later,
Oh my god.
still
What were you
waiting.
doing down there?
Someone got distracted on the toilet watching TikTok. Maybe it was me.
it was Lynn. She's like, I hated it.
I hate it
hated
when
how bad I was.
ruin.
It's not my fault. TikTok is addicting.
That reminds me of when I used to go play poker, and I played poker with all these like just absolute like drug addicts and drunks, and like they would
I
be
keep on telling you, Belatro's rated M for a
every-
reason.
I was just gonna say that's what Belatra is trying to get you into, that world.
every few hands. I'm just sitting there like this Mormon kid who's like, I just want to play poker, and they every few hands they're like, I gotta go smoke and then get high, or I gotta go drink, or I gotta pee because I drank 9 beers in the last. It was like every 3 hands we'd have to take a pause, and I was like,
that.
I hate this.
That is
I
a
just
good
want to
one.
take your money.
That is a good bad. Yeah, I like that. My quick one is that when the co-op doesn't really matter and you just both feel like you're playing a single player game just in the same. That's how Lego Skywalker
Yeah.
was kind of that we were
Mhm.
playing, because we just like it was just like none of the puzzles really required us to work together. So we just kind of run around, do our own thing. Every once in a while, I'd be like, hey, will you come over and like lift this thing up for me? But for the most part, and when I do that, she'd be like, where are you? I was like, I don't know, just like over here. We were just playing our own games. I don't like that. I like if we're playing a game together, we should feel like we're working together on something, not just like playing our own. It's just single player game with 2 people. How about ugly? Lynn, what about an ugly for you?
I only prepared the one. So
I
come
have a
back to
really
me.
good one then.
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna marinate it like this. Marinate
This
on this.
happens with Jenna and I a decent amount because we every once in a while our opinions just line right up on games and we just have a blast. But I would say 30% of the time, one of us is way into the game, we're really digging it, the other person is out. And so you're playing it and you're having so much fun, and the other person's playing it. About 30 minutes later, you realize they haven't said anything, but they're just like going through the motions. You're like, is everything okay? Is there something wrong? They're like, I'm just not really vibing. You're like, fuck, I was having a great time, but now I can't keep having a great time because you don't want to play it. No. And like, I can't play this solo because it's a couch co-op game. So it's just like over at that moment. So that's it's ugly because it's like, yeah, it's great that you found a game you love, but if your partner doesn't love it, you're kind of stuck.
You're done. Yeah.
You're not going to find another couch co-op partner. We don't have an open couch co-op relationship.
That's a sacred space.
Yeah, that is our sacred place. Like no one's allowed
Never
in there.
invite me to come play. I've been thinking of like, wish JD would invite me to come play couch co-op with them, but now I understand.
We have
Peterson,
a
you can't be our
closed
unicorn.
couch
I'm so
co-op
sorry.
relationship. We're
not like
monogamous
that.
in our gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. Ethical monogamy, Peterson.
Okay, I could get in there every now and then. It wasn't like I want to be like a regular thing, but like sometimes,
Just like once in a while, you guys call me when you're feeling like it,
yeah,
and I come down.
yeah. I don't understand.
Go
what
down.
is.
What about Peterson?
I
do you
have an
any
ugly.
uglies? Okay.
Well, a lot of times, I love strategy games. You know this, especially like turn-based strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I played from the guys who made Baldur's Gate 3. What was the one they made before that? Divinity Original Sin 2.
Divinity. Yeah. Damn it.
That one, couch co-op is great. I played that with one of my kids, couch co-op. But the problem is with a lot of these types of, and even board games, you see this a lot. There tends to be a ringleader. So it's not true co-op because someone's being like, oh, you should do this on your turn. You know what I mean? So you're just, if you're the player 2, quote unquote, then you are just doing what the ringleader says you should do. Like they've got the strategy and you're just there. They don't need you. Honestly, they don't need you to be there. You're just there for fun of it. But like, so sometimes, especially strategy, these couch co-op strategy games just ends up being like one person doing it and the other person's just like the grunt, like there's a general and he's just dictating what everyone should do. So that gets a
Do you have
little
a specific
ugly.
game other than it was just Divinity?
Divinity, this happens with the other one that I talked about from the Behemoth, Pit People, because it's also a strategy game. This kind of happens there as well. It's happened with I can picture the game. A couple of these other turn-based,
most strategy games like that.
It tends to happen because it's hard to do a strategy game and everyone's got their own strategy going on. So usually they just default to whoever's better at the game.
That's I feel like it happens in tabletop games too sometimes.
Yeah, as they always are defaulting to me, so it's like they're always just defaulting me because I'm so good at all the games.
Yeah, because you're like the best at video games, so obviously they just choose you. Yeah. Oh man, seriously.
It's like I don't even need you to be
here. Cross.
So really, the ugly is that I have to play with another person when I don't need them.
I want to hear you guys, the listeners, jump on our Discord. Tell us your good, bad, and ugly of couch co-op video games. Or just stories or anecdotes or non sequiturs. We don't care. Just
or regular sequitur, non sequitur,
sequiturs, non sequiturs, all the sequiturs. We want them.
We want to hear the worst fight, the worst video game couch co-op fight you've had.
The hardest hammer punch you've ever delivered.
Yeah, what's your nut punch strategy? Are you closed fist, open hand, flick? There's all sorts of strategy.
Are you the kind that unplugs the controller so your friend?
Do you put a pillow on over your own lap first, just for safety? Like, how do you do it? What's your plan? How's your approach? All right, so that is good, bad, ugly. Couch co-op games.
Dice of Destiny.
All right, Dice of Destiny is this game we play at the end of every episode. We use some dice to help us find what games we're going to play. We have a genre dice that's 20-sided. And last week, I rolled a mystery game. And I was able to spend $50 on it. So basically any mystery game ever. And I chose a game called What?
Let's solve this mystery of the mystery game.
I'm going to mute Lynn. I'm going to mute
Lynn.
Can you kick her? I just muted her right now.
I see.
One more of those.
Artistic censorship.
You're gone.
I'm calling this artistic censorship.
There's no rights on this podcast.
Honestly, you're lucky you don't have nuts because I would come punch him right now.
Dude, you're getting hammer punched anyway.
My spectral balls are getting slapped right now.
Just get over here.
Oh, fuck, that does hurt. Shit. Damn.
Oh, God, it still hurts anyway. What the fuck?
Why does it feel like this?
Stop.
It's like I still got punched in the crotch. I hate this.
Patrick wants you to do it some more, make more mystery jokes. So
listen, if you want that, you have to subscribe to our OnlyFans.
Oh, wait, we have one of those?
Yeah, we didn't let you in on it.
I thought JD and Jenna weren't letting me in.
We're not. It's just ours.
So you guys always cut me out.
I rolled a mystery game, $50. I picked a game called The Case of the Golden Idol. There, Lynn, I solved the mystery for you. The Case of the Golden Idol, I don't know what exactly it is other than it was on my wish list and it did kind of look and have a feel like Obra Dinn, where you're like kind of filling in like this was the killer and this is the weapon they used and this is who they did it, whatever. I'm stoked. I think it was on sale for like $11. I can play it on the Steam Deck. This is a fun holiday season game, I think. I'm really actually pretty excited about it.
The art style is super wacky. So yeah, I think you're gonna like this. This looks like a game that you have the potential to like.
Yeah, it's kind of, and I think it's been it's kind of an indie darling to close out the year. I think people were pretty vibing on this one pretty hard because it just came out like a month or two ago. So playing a recent game. Case of the Golden Idol. I'll have a review for us. Honestly, who knows when? Because we got Blursties coming up next week. Are we doing Blur? No, not
At
even next week.
some point.
No,
yeah.
maybe I will have a review next week.
Dude,
We're gonna
we
do
are-
Blursties eventually, you guys.
We're pushing Blursties back to the first couple weeks in January because I'm going to be gone. JD's going to be gone, and Blursties require a little effort, and so so we were
time.
like, let's just
let 'em
just push it so we can really get it
It's gonna be
done
it's
well.
gonna be worth the wait. It's gonna be the first quadruple A Blursties.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
That's a great point, Lynn. This is going to be a quadruple A Blursties year. Fantastically put. That said, do we have more? Peterson, what spots? If you guys want to nominate Blursties, we've got a bunch already that have been claimed.
Them and filled, but we have 3 more, and I'd love to get a
If
listener.
you guys
on
have
these.
nominees for these 3,
Worst sequel, which I feel like shouldn't be hard because every game was a sequel this year.
every year.
Zing.
Worst launch, which again I think would be pretty easy. Worst bug, which is always a pretty fun one. Maybe requires a little research, but that's always a fun one. So worst sequel, launch, and bug. I would love to have a listener put in a nomination
Yeah.
for one of those. So let me know.
Reach out
reach out to me.
Discord, reach out on our website, anywhere, leave us a voicemail, whatever. Yeah, we'd love to get those listener nominations. All right. That's it. We did the whole sode. And you're probably listening to this Christmas morning as an escape from Christmas morning.
This was
So enjoy
this
it.
is our present to you,
Uh-huh.
honestly. So
Merry Christmas. I'm
Merry
glad you
Christmas, one and all. God bless you.
it's Tiny Tim, Tiny Lynn,
Tiny Lynn.
Tiny
Oh, it's right there.
Tiny Lynn.
Yeah.
Lynn.
So-
Next time you're on, you're talking like that the whole time. By the way,
It's gonna
just-
be
and we're gonna make you do a
pretty
game
fun.
review.
I can
Yeah,
think of few
just like
things that would be
Tiny
more of an
Lynn.
auditory nightmare than just listen to this poor little bad English accent Cockney boy.
I do like Lynn's Cockney boy accent.
So
I
high
can't wait
pitched.
for the Blusties. Blusties are my absolute favorite.
Okay,
Next to
Dobby.
peppermint
She sounds like Dobby, right? She's Dobby.
She's leaning toward Dobby, but I
We're
still
leaning towards Dobby. No, we
get a
gotta
little bit
rein
of
it back,
Oliver
rein it
Twist
back.
in there. I like it.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Well, that's it. We've got to play us out. We've got Flutie, the song from Castle Crashers.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Once I play it, if you've played the game, you'll recognize it.
You
once I
guys
put it
know.
in there.
All right. I'm JD logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK.
And this is Lynn starting fights on the couch.
Little Lynn starting in a fight.
Nut punch, nut punch, nut punch.